Try to make an opening statement, and we'll open it up for questions.
Yeah, I thought the opening drive was huge, just to come out and march down the field and pick it right up where we left off last week. We were afraid there might be a little bit of a letdown, just because we were so incredible the week before, but we didn't see any signs of that. And defensively we were dominant again. Our kids, had to burr up their saddle from last week. They didn't like the way they played, so I had a feeling they were going to have real energy, and they did. And we were very solid in the kicking game as well. So it was by far the best game we played in all three phases. And really, really proud of my kids. This was a big game, and a lot of pressure on those kids. The city done a wonderful job. Everybody has about trying to get people in the Alamo Dome. And those kids understand the pressure, and that's a lot on young men. They feel like they're carrying the weight of the city in a way, and they didn't even bother them at all. They came out and played as good as I've seen them play. I hope the fans were happy. I know I was.
Okay, JJ?
Jeff, the defense pitched a shutout today, a pretty dominant performance from them. Just how can you summarize what they did today?
You used the word, and I agree with you, JJ. Just dominant. We were physical. We were striking, and we just, they tried to run power and ISO at us, and we handled that. They tried to be empty and do some things, spread us out, and we handled that. And our kids they were dominant. I know I'm stealing your word there, but it was fun to watch. It's not easy to do. And our locker room's subdued in there right now. I'm like, hey man, it's hard to win in college football. We cannot not enjoy winning. It's just different with those kids right now. They expect to go out and win.
Great.
Jeff, you talked about how many close games you guys have played the last 2 years. Was it important, or does it make any kind of a statement to come out and have one be this decisive?
It was a lot more fun and easy to coach. I know that. It's stressful because, you're trying to sub out people and you don't want to get anybody hurt. And then there's punt return issues and kickoff return and kickoff. And you've got starters playing out there, and it's easy to pull them off of defense and offense, but then you forget all the ramifications of all the special teams they're on. You're trying to do that. So I'd much rather have those problems, to answer your question. But as far as statement and all that, I don't know. That's stuff you guys probably like to talk about. I'm just glad we played really well. And I told our kids it's the first time I thought we played a complete game the entire year.
Alejandro?
So in past games, you kind of mentioned, even despite winning, there were some things that you could have, you said, you wanted to work on offense and defense. How does this game particularly, how do you see the season coming together with everything you have been working on? Is there still more y'all want to do, or how close to that, those expectations are you?
You mean in reference to the season or to this game?
To the season, but specifically seeing this game offensively and defensively, how close are you, do you think, to reaching y'all's potential?
You just got to be careful because, I haven't watched the video yet. I was disappointed on the 2-3 and outs when we had such great field position early in the game. I thought we could have put them away there. That was disappointing. I'd already told my staff I wasn't going to be riverboat gambler and go for it to this. I thought they were going to have trouble scoring on us. So I was going to punt the football. So we were playing pretty conservative. So I was disappointed in that. Defensively, there's just not much to be disappointed about. I thought we didn't tackle real well at times. Honestly, there was a few times we didn't tackle real well. We got that cleaned up on the sideline. Special teams wise, we were pretty solid, I think. But I'd have to go back and watch that video before I know for sure.
Ryder?
Coach, how would you rate your running attack tonight? Sincere had that big 81-yard run, then B.J. Daniels, of course, coming in, kind of pressing the service since Brennan Stiller and everything, but he comes in, converts 7 carries, 54 yards, touchdown. Especially with him, how would you say this running attack is really coming together as a unit?
Yeah, it felt like we were running the ball well. I had to check. I think we had 38 carries for 261, so a little simple math there. It's probably about 7 or 8, yards a carry, so that ain't too bad, right? They kind of jumped it up. They did a bunch of stuff to us in the secondary back there, and I didn't think we threw it and caught it as well as we did last week. But that's kind of the way they played. They played a lot of coverage. They watched the same game y'all did, right? They saw us go nuts throwing the ball last week, and I think they said, we're not watching that, so they decided to play a different way. But yeah, I was pretty pleased with our running game. The ball's on the ground. Jalen fumbled. That was disappointing. But I thought Kavorian Barnes looked really good. My freshman came out there. You could tell he's a legit 21.5, 200-meter guy out of Beast, Texas.
Okay, we're gonna go to Nick and JJ. Nick,
Coach, official attendance was 27,515. What's your message to the city and to the students and the first timers that came out today? It was pretty loud in there, so what's your message?
We just keep getting better. Ms. Shanda gave us our midterm report of where we were. And I won't tell you how many Fs we had on our team, but we were better than we were last year. Still too many. So kind of like our crowd, we just keep getting better. I mean, we just keep going up. So I was thrilled. They were loud. Our student section's awesome. It made a difference in the ball game. I don't care what they say. They can say they went to Arkansas, they went to Texas. And I know our crowd and our band. That was loud, and it's hard to operate in that environment. There's no doubt our crowd had a huge part of the way our kids played tonight, and we're very thankful, grateful, and we watch it. And my players are the best marketing team in the country. They retweet and tweet every doggone thing you guys put out there about Pack the Dome. So I'm really grateful and thankful to San Antonio for how they showed up today.
JJ and
Jeff, 7-0, continuing the historic start here this season. What does that mean to you guys?
It's crazy. It really is just crazy. I mean, I'm proud for my kids, man. They deserve it. They're good kids. Coach Brown today, we were at team dinner. He asked me, "What do you think about tonight?" And I said, "Man, I've got really good kids and they're really good players. And usually when you got good kids that are good players, good things happen." We say the same verse every single Saturday, 2 Timothy 1:7. The Lord does not give us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline. And that's what our kids do every Saturday.
Jeff, you mentioned marketing, retweeting, and stuff like that. How do you differentiate between building a program and building a team? And given any week, last week, this week, how much time are you thinking about either one?
It's just a different time. That's where we live. That's where all of our recruits are. That's where all my players are. It's kind of the way we communicate in this generation. So I know even my agent's like, "How much do you work, son?" He's like, you're always doing stuff on Twitter, but it's not just for fan attendance. It's for recruiting. It's for perception. It's for you guys. It's for everybody to be excited. And that's the way it is, and it's the way it is right now. And social media it's the way of the world. So my players, I don't instruct them to do that. I do instruct them how to behave on there. And occasionally I have to get a coach to tell somebody to delete a tweet. I don't like them taking on media members, which we had a couple of them do that last week. I don't like that, right? Y'all got a job to do. If y'all want to criticize us and be critical and pick the other team to win, that's y'all's prerogative. We don't need to be chastising any of y'all. So that's the hardest part, is me having to monitor it, because I turn them loose. But if I had to give them a grade on that, we have way better grades on our social media behavior than our midterm grades right now.
But do you ever feel like, are there enough hours in the day to do both? To build a program and to coach your team?
It's a great question. It's a fair question. I'll say this: when you're trying to flip a program, when you're trying to start one, I've used this analogy before. It's like a rocket. Launch. All your energies in those first 2 or 3 years. I mean, we got to give it. And I've made a commitment that I'm not going to sleep and I'm not going to stop till these first 3 years. Now, when those first 3 years are up, I might just collapse and have to have a couple of weeks. But I'm going full throttle, man. We really want to get this thing off the ground. We want this thing to be something that lasts forever, not a blip in the radar.
Jeff, does it say something about this team to come off the dramatic win last week, the first 6-0 start, and the bowl eligibility, and to be as focused in all phases as they were today?
I agree with you. I was worried after Tuesday's practice. I was, but I told y'all, probably I'm just an old grouchy man. I went in there and got after them really good, and the Titan data did not show that. The Titan data showed our kids had one of their hardest practices of the year. Turned right around, followed up on Wednesday. That's what's great about that data. I mean, you can look and see how much energy a kid hits and how many change of directions and speed and how much power he used, how much speed he used. So they were mature. I was more worried than they were, obviously. But man, we were locked in. Our walkthroughs and the hotel behavior, dinner, breakfast, everything. I mean, my leadership council, Miles Benning this morning, man, well, I want this thing buttoned up. We need to be buttoned up and ready to go for homecoming. It's a big game for us. Elevator. I hear Day tell one of my freshmen, man, 2:15, team meeting, be down at 2 o'clock. And I'm just like, I ain't got to do nothing. I mean, my kids got this. I'm just going to freaking kick back, smoke a cigar, and watch the game.
Okay, Jonas, then
Coach, speaking of getting things off the ground, the program's just 10 years young. A 7-0 start to this year. I mean, to be in your seat at this moment, how does that feel? It's a monumental season. It was going to be just because of the 10-year anniversary, but to be 7-0 on top of that, and to be the head coach at the top of it. How does that feel?
I'm not so naive to not understand how important that is, but I'm just not going to get outside of the lane. I don't want a culture pillar violation issued to me by Greg and JJ. So we're going to enjoy our 24 hours. And about this time tomorrow night, I'll be deep into Louisiana Tech, end zone wide, tight, base down. Skip Holt's a really good coach. They've been winning for a really long time. And there's a reason he picked us for homecoming and a night game. And I don't know if y'all even thought about this yet. My team has never had an open week. We played straight through last year. We didn't have an open week. We played 7 more games in a row. I've coached my kids for a straight 2 seasons, and we've never had an open week. That's a grind, brother. And our kids don't blink. And we can see the light now, but we got to go into Ruston and get one. And this is going to take all of us to get out of there.
Okay, all the way to the back, Adam.
You talked about the subdued locker room. How do you approach that? Because you want the guys to celebrate, but is it another check mark in your, these guys are expecting to do this?
I don't know. I really don't know. Our guys have a sense of there's something about on that road, man. Those road locker room wins get them juiced. And those home locker rooms are pretty subdued. They really expect to win here at the Alamo Dome. We've done it now. I'm sure y'all correct me. I'm probably wrong. We were here 6 times last year. We were 5-1. How many times we played this year? 3 or 4? We've been here 3 times, so we're 8-1 in the 9 games we've been here. So we've only got 2 left. We've got to play 4, right? So we're more than that. We're 9-1. So those kids just expect to win here. Ironically, this time last year is the last time we lost here. It was Army. So when Lowell got hurt on this day. It's 1 year to the day for Lowell. I was going to put Lowell in the game to take a victory snap. But they told me that if he took 1 snap, he's going to try to medical. We're going to do our best to try to keep that kid, from playing if we can. And that stings because I would love to put him out there in victory and let him take a knee. He lost his mom, this week. And it's actually last week. And, his dad's already passed away as well, and he's still not recovered from that ankle injury yet. So it's funny what a year makes, how different that makes right now.
Okay, JJ, you want to wrap it?
Jeff, just the overall energy this past week, a lot of national attention, an article from The Athletic, your interview on the Jim Rome show, just feels like there's a lot of positive stuff surrounding the program right now. Can you try and describe what's going on?
Man, if I didn't know better, I don't get nervous. Y'all know I love to talk, right? But man, that's Jim Rome, man. I grew up watching Jim Rome. Rome was burning, man, and I was nervous. I told my guys, I'm nervous. What if he just fronts me out for being a country bumpkin hit? What if he just goes at me? I don't know what he's going to say about my, not only do I talk slow, I hear slow too, right? So, I didn't know what he's going to do. And, man, he was so fantastic. That interview was awesome. That's a bucket list deal for me. That was really cool. And I'm so happy for all that. Because it's about these kids, man. And the more I'm out there getting national news, that means the more they're talking about my kids. And the more they're talking about Sincere McCormick and Rashad Wisdom and Frank Harris, that just makes me happy. That's what the game's about, those kids, man. I'm just a guy who gets to ride the bus, JJ.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks,
Appreciate y'all. God bless. Birds up.
Thanks, Rich.